You know why my advice is to sleep with him? My advice is to sleep with him because she's already fucked up.
Totally.
She's already fucked up. So fucking sleep with him.
Well,
Because now you're just driving yourself crazy. And here's the thing. This isn't a good girl here, right?
clearly.
So it's not like if she doesn't sleep with this guy, she's not going to cheat on this guy, her boyfriend in the future. She's a cheater. She's a habitual cheater. So you might as well cheat with what you know is good.
Yeah.
Go get your nut, girl. You're a cheater. That's who you are.
Yeah.
He's going to find out you're a cheater. It's okay. He's going to find out you're a cheater. So you might as well cheat to the best of your ability.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Menage-A-Pod, the hysterical comedy podcast about sex, dating, and relationships. I'm TJ, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host, Bestie and the Snoop to my Dre, Jenna. What's up, girl?
Hey, man. So I think we're just going to talk to you about merch because I need to pay bills, and I'm pretty sure you need to pay your bills too, right?
So need to pay them. Get into it.
I know. So we'd really love you guys to visit teespring.com/stores/Menage-A-Podcast to pick up a piece of our official merch featuring our bubble logo. The women's V-neck for $25.99 and the unisex comfort tee for $24.99 are the best sellers. We also have hoodies, stickers, and other official Menage-A-Pod merchandise, so check that out at teespring.com/stores/Menage-A-Podcast. This is hands down the best way to support the podcast. Unless you guys just want to send us checks. If you don't want to buy merch, there are some other ways that you can support the podcast, like writing a review, subscribing on Apple Podcasts, and then sharing the podcast in your Instagram stories. Tell a friend, tell 2 friends, tell 3 friends. Totally.
Tell as many friends as you want. If you got 10 friends, tell every one of those motherfuckers about Menage-A-Pod.
Yeah, man. I mean, speaking of merch, can I just tell you I'm currently wearing my Be Positive hoodie I bought the other day.
Nice. Showing some love to our friends from Be Positive.
It got to me in 2 days. I feel like we need to change our vendor because that's the feedback I keep getting. Is everyone's like, "It's taking a while." I'm like, "It'll get to you, I promise."
We need to talk to our guest today. I know him and his counterparts. They have their merch game locked down. I think they're making more per unit than us. So I got to get in his head about that.
We need to figure this out for real. Also, that means I have to buy their hoodie too. I'll have a collection of our friends' podcast.
Share the love. You got to share the love. All right. Well, it feels like now is as good a time as any to introduce today's guest. It is my pleasure to introduce our guest this week. He is a past guest and Menage-A-Pod All-Star, one of the best comedians in Chicago, a co-host of the Unemployables podcast, an actor, as well as the driving force behind the hysterical series of web shorts called Zeus and Zako, an all-around content creation juggernaut, and one of our absolute favorite people, Zako Ryan. What's up, bud?
Hey, holy shit. What an intro, man. What's going on? Hello to you. Hi, Jenna.
Hello. Welcome back. I'm going to just put this out there. I love hearing your voice, but I'm really sad I can't see you right now.
I'm so sad I can't see you too. As soon as I saw the Zen podcast thing pop up, I was like, oh, I want to see their face.
It's such a bummer. I mean, you're funny and everything, but I do like to look. So.
Thank you. No, I appreciate the intro, man. The driving force behind Zako and Zeus. I got to tell you, man, that means a lot because I think it's the dog that drives that bad boy.
I was gonna say your roommate.
Yeah, the dog roommate combination kills that show. I'm just there like whatever, man. I'll smoke a joint and talk to this dog for a couple hours.
Yeah, for anyone who doesn't know what we're talking about, why don't you tell them a little bit about that, Zako?
Zako and Zeus. So I've got a 190-pound English Mastiff. Pretty much just the coolest dog. If you have a dog at home, just look at him and then just imagine a way cooler dog. That's my dog. So me and this dog, we talk to each other quite often because I get lonely and bored. It's quarantine. You understand?
And
high. Yeah. So I get high and I talk to my dog, and a lot of times it's just hilarious just to think about what he would say back. So me and my roommate the way it started, me and my roommate would just be in my room writing comedy or watching a movie or something like that, smoking some weed, and then we'd just start talking. I'd start talking to Zeus, and then Eric would respond with what Zeus would have said, and we'd just be rolling. We'd just be dying, and I was like, man, we should do something with this. So we filmed initially the first episode of Zako and Zeus, and we were just dying. I was like, man, let's just do this. it's quarantine that you've got to evolve in terms of content creation. Obviously, there's not as many live shows right now as there once were. So you got to kind of figure out where you're going to put your creative energy.
Of course.
So I was like, what better way to put creative energy? Who doesn't like dogs? Are you kidding me?
And honestly, guys, if you're out there and you're just learning about Zako for the first time, I cannot recommend this enough. It's one of the funnier things I've seen in a long time. And as a rule, I tend to support the people who return that support to us. But Zako stuff is great, and it's on Instagram at Zako and Zeus, right? That's just
Zako and Zeus, yeah. And Eric, my roommate, does a really good job producing that, and we kind of just take turn. It's really funny how it unfolds too. We just come up with an idea and then we just start rolling with it, and it ends up coming out really nice. We've got some really good equipment for it too, so it's been a lot of fun. It's been a nice reprieve from stand-up comedy, and to just kind of like write from a different perspective and for like a different audience.
Right. Well, you just mentioned the change from stand-up. I know you just headlined 2 straight nights at the CG's Comedy Club. Why don't you tell us how that went? What's the vibe like performing stand-up post-quarantine?
Yeah. Oh, man. This weekend was so much fun, man. Much needed, too. CG's Comedy Club out in Bolingbrook. If you've never been there, get out there. Honestly, just the way it's set up is one of the best clubs in the city. It's short. Everyone's kind of pushed up closer to you. No matter whether that club's packed or has 10 people in it, it's always a good time. This weekend went great, man. Friday's show was really good. It was only my sixth time on stage since COVID. So 6th time on stage in 8 months.
Right.
So I was super nervous. So like when I scheduled it back in like November of last year, I was like, I got 8 months to put together an hour, bro. Let's go. And then COVID hit, and I was like, I'm going to have like a couple weeks to put together an hour. So it was like nerve-wracking on Friday. But I'm glad you asked that question, because here's my feelings on stand-up comedy right now. It's twice as nerve-wracking before you get on stage, and then twice as comfortable when you're up there and in your groove. And I think what's happening is this. I think what's happening is those nerves are coming back from like when you first started stand-up, the unsure of yourself, the making sure you remember your tags and your callbacks and your punchlines. So it's just nerve-wracking. And then what happens is you get on stage and it just kind of muscle memory just starts flowing. And then you're like, oh shit, like I can do this. And then because you were so nervous before, it like to counter that, you're like you end up getting like twice as comfortable on stage. So it's terrifying again, but it's like even more fun than it's ever been. So stand up right now is so much fun, and people are ready to laugh, dude. They're ready to get out of their house, stop looking at their husband and wife, and come laugh at some shit.
Sure, I can totally get behind that. Go ahead, Jenna.
Just a quick question, so for me, right, like I feel like everyone right now is at this boiling point. I was just having this conversation with my sister earlier this morning because this woman at a restaurant yelled at me the other day while I was with my dog, and the dog was really thirsty. It was a diner, by the way, and we were sitting outside on like a picnic bench, and the dog was thirsty, and I kind of gave him a little bit of water, and she lost her shit on me, and it exploded because he was drinking out of the cup, and I guess that's against health regulations.
Wow.
And she came over and she screamed at me and was like, "You can't do that here." Da, 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 da. She like yelled, and I looked at her and I was like, "Ma'am, I've been coming to this restaurant for 10 years. Like,
yeah.
I don't appreciate that you just spoke to me that way as the owner of this restaurant, as a patron who's been a supporter of yours. I even donated to their restaurant when they were closed during COVID for a while. Like, I was pissed." And but then I took a step back and was like, everyone just is wound so tightly right now. And especially restaurants, right? Because there are all these new laws in place that they have to follow and they can get fined. And I totally get it. I do think there was a better way for her to say that. But at the same time, I understand. And so
maybe you could just be less terrible, Jenna.
I know, I'm the worst. But my point of all that is that I think people right now are so tightly wound, and there's like, I've heard a lot of people say, like even other like comedian friends have said, like, we just feel crazy anxiety right now and we don't know why. And I just think it's the world we're living in. And so like having this outlet again of being able to go and just laugh and go to a show, I think is going to be huge for a lot of people. But my question is, what is it like there? Like, are they following guidelines? Like, are you guys spaced out? Like, is it weird to perform? I'm assuming for like half the room that you typically would? Like, how's that working?
Yeah, so they're definitely following guidelines, and they've set a really good precedence. Like Zany's in Chicago was the first to really like hire in a staff to come in, take everyone's temperature, ask the questions that need to be asked.
Yeah.
And they like brought in like an actual like either like an RN or some sort of like regulations officer that basically just walks everybody in. You go through the back, the comedians come through the back. They get checked in, sign some paperwork, temperature checks. They go up to the green room, and then you just stay in the green room. So you're staying away from the audience the entire time, which that's the weirdest part, because the reason I got into comedy is to like build those connections. Like I'm not one of those stand-ups that I'm going to sit in the green room, and then when the show starts, it's the first time you're going to see me. And like I want to walk around and like bullshit, feel the room, see you after the show, like hang out. I want to feel like a part of this. I want it to all be this one big thing, right? So that's like the hardest transition for me is like getting checked in, going upstairs, waiting to go on stage and leaving the stage and then going back upstairs. It's like, yeah, whatever. I know that's like the job, but it's like the most fun is the interaction with the audience and hanging out and hugs and shaking hands and taking pictures and stuff like that. But a lot of that stuff's kind of been taken away. Now, the cool thing about it is like you'll know a couple people in the audience that'll come like see your shows, that come to like a couple of your shows a week that you can still like hang out with and take pictures with, because they're obviously people that you may have been around already. Mm-hmm. And those are just the risks you take like outside of the club. But when it comes to the actual club and what the club's doing and what their expectations are of the performers and from the audience, they're unbelievable. They're doing a really good job, and they're getting some pushback from nobody other than other comedians. Other
I've seen it all over
entertainers.
Facebook, man.
Yeah, and it's like, dude, pick and choose your fucking battles, man. You know what I mean? Like these people are, what are you going to do? You know what I mean? These people are really trying to get entertainers and comedians back on stage and back working and getting stand-up comedy back into the city of Chicago. And they're doing it the right way. And these are people that are talking shit about it that have never gone to the show. They've never seen what they're doing. They've never seen the social distancing at the tables, the 2 people per table on opposite ends of the table in between each tables to keep people away from it, the line separations with stickers that are separated 6 feet. Everything, the staff wearing masks and shields and all this. So they're doing a really good job. It is a little bit different and weird, but from what I've felt in terms of like the audience behavior, they want to laugh, man. They want to laugh at everything. As soon as you get going, they're ready for it. The expectations of comedy of a comedian seem to be a lot lower now. They're like, bro, I don't know. Just look at me and say some shit that I haven't heard on CNN or Fox in the last 8 months, and I'm going to laugh at it.
Well, that's kind of a great segue because you're making it seem right now like the bar for stand-up comedy is pretty low. And with that in mind, I know Zako, you were actually one of the first people I told. I am actually getting up for the first time ever, and I am doing a set on August 26th at my buddy's on Dario's Rising Laughter show.
Hey, hell yeah.
Super stoked about that.
Burbs, TJ?
What's that?
Is that in the Burbs?
No, it's on Clark.
No, it's on Clark. It's right here in the city. That's so cool, man. I'm definitely trying to be there.
Yeah, man. Oh, so this is kind of a funny story, Zako, since I know kind of everyone in this community sort of knows each other. And as we've talked about in the previous time you're on here, we both know Paul Farivar. I had been doing some video work for him, and 2 or 3 days ago, I drove to his place to drop off a jump drive with some files. And while I was there, we were just like talking in his lobby, and I told him about that I was going to be doing that show. And he just like starts looking at his phone, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Nothing." Looks up, he's like, "Yeah, I'm just texting Dario. I'm going to get booked on that night." So right after I leave his place, he texts me and he's like, "Yeah, I'm on that tonight." He's like, "So you better crush your fucking set." I'm like, "Yeah, no pressure, man."
Hilarious.
No pressure at all. So with that in mind though, man, you gave dropped some pearls of wisdom when you were talking about our first question, but speaking to someone who you've gotten to know a little bit over the last year or so, and I mean, you know how much I love the grind and I love comedy. What would be a couple pieces of advice you would give to me getting up in 10 days from today?
The gold is where the miners are not. It's hidden, man. It's where the funny is where you don't think the funny is. The funny is what you're trying to hide. So last night coming back from the show, one of my friends was like, yeah, it's just, it's weird because like, I just don't think like I'm trying to be relatable on stage, but like just me as a person, I just don't do things that anyone can kind of relate to. And I was like, bro, what you don't understand is what you just said to me is hilarious. Like, that's funny. That's what you need to be taking on stage. The fact that you don't think you relate to anybody. That's what people want to hear, because that in and of itself is relatable. You know what I mean? So
That's great advice right there.
It's all the shit. I do a dick joke. I'm 6'5". I do a dick joke where I was like, I don't send dick pics, because I don't have that kind of dick. You know what I mean? I got a bad dick to body ratio. And it's like, that's not something I'm just running around telling people. You know what I mean? Sure. But it's like when you really look at it, that's where the humor is. That's where the funny is. It's all the shit that you've ever like stored up and that you were afraid to let out and let people hear. That's what's so beautiful about stand-up comedy is now you get to not only release that and feel free of it, but now you get to turn it into your own superpower, and now it's funny, right?
I love that.
So that's where all the humor is in the shit that like right before you say it, it like takes you a second because you're not too sure if you want to say it. That's what's funny. And then the faster you say that, the funnier it's going to be. And then you just build on it. But honestly, how much time are you getting? 5 minutes?
8 minutes.
You're getting 8 minutes?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm shitting my pants a little bit if I'm being honest.
That's long, right?
8 minutes. 8 minutes is a long time.
Yeah.
8 minutes is a long time. You should have booked you for 5 minutes for your first set.
Dude, I got plenty of material, and I think with me, what it's going to be the most important thing is just not talking so fast. When I get real amped, it just shit flies out of my mouth, and I'm sure I'm just going to be so amped. But I've got my joke notebook that I've literally been writing in for years. I've re-listened to every episode of our podcast. I was like 90 hours of me talking. I'm sure there's 8 minutes of funny shit I've said in there. So I've just been creating this arc, writing it as sort of a story. Like I want it to make sense and kind of have its place. And I've been running the routines with like people I'm close to and getting pretty good feedback. So I just need to like stay out of my own head, lean into the moment, try to enjoy what's going on.
Yeah, there's no real advice that I can give you for your first set without sounding like I know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Like your first time on stage is going to be, it's going to go well. I'll tell you that. Your first time on stage is going to go well because you're going to make sure it goes well. You're going to prepare for it. You're going to be over prepared for it. So you're not going to do awful. I promise you that. And I know your personality. I know how you'll be up there. You're likable. It's not going to go well. Like my first time on stage, I just had a month to prepare 5 minutes. So like it didn't go awful. Right. But then I got a little cocky. I got off stage. I was like, where's my Netflix deal? Big energy. And then they were like, you want to come back next week? I was like, hell yeah, I'm coming back next week. Not even writing a set list. I got some shit I want to talk about. And I bombed, bro. I mean, ate it. I sucked my second time around. But yeah, for your first set, I would just say, just make sure you've got like 10. If you're doing 8 minutes, make sure you've got 10 just in case.
Yeah, right now, man, I'm working off like 100 tags and 5 big arcs. I feel like it does feel like I've got enough. So fingers crossed.
I also think something to keep in mind, what's going to be really nice, TJ, is that you're going to be surrounded by people you know, right? Like there will obviously be people in the audience that like don't know you, but I'm guessing that like you're going to know a lot of the comedians there, right? Dario's such a positive force. So I feel like you're going to have a lot of support there regardless. So that should take your comfort level up a little bit, I would have to think, right? Like you're not just like going out there. It's not like you're in a new city where you don't know anyone, right? I think like people are there to support you. So you can go in like knowing that you've got a big support system there and you're not just like talking to a total room of strangers.
The woman I'm seeing asked if I wanted her to go and I was like, oh, absolutely not. No, I do not. I'm like 100%. I do not want anyone that I'm super close to or really care about to be there.
Nope. You don't want to put that pressure on yourself. Don't do that, especially if you like her.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. and I do. So let's not destroy that. Yeah. She's been listening to me run through these routines for the last like 10 days. She's probably already sick anyway. All right. Well, enough about that. On to more actually dating related stuff. You know, a listener reached out last week. This is kind of cool. One of the sort of rewarding things that happens from this podcast is that people get confused and think that we're actually some sort of like advice experts. And so this woman reaches out, wanted some advice. She actually sent me a message on Facebook, but in her message, she explicitly was like, what do you think? But also like, can you see what your co-host thinks? So I knew that Jenna's ego would absolutely love that. So I screenshotted the message, send it over to Jenna, and Jenna crafted out like, I'm talking solid advice. Like it almost seemed like she knew what she was doing. So Jenna, kudos to you there. What were you thinking as you were doing that?
I've been there, right? Like at this point, there's nothing I don't think that I haven't encountered. Well, I don't want to say that because, dating, whatever. Shit always goes off the rails. But like, I feel like her question was super relatable and I've been there. And it's funny because I was saying that my sister is currently going through a divorce. And she's, I think it's too early for her to start dating anyway, but there's a lot of things we've been talking about lately that have to do with dating. And all I want to do is like protect her from it. And I know that I can't because she's got to, right? It's like telling a child, don't touch the stove. They're going to touch the stove and learn their lesson themselves, right? So I feel like with her, especially, I'm just trying to like shelter her a little bit. She's older than me. She's like 7 years older than me. So how the roles have changed in our lives. But I feel like I've been through enough that I can give this advice now, right? Especially since I've been through a divorce and whatever, right? So it's like I've been in her shoes. And so for this listener, it's like the question, I don't really remember what the question was. It was sort of like he was stringing her along. I just felt like he just wasn't being genuine. And God, unfortunately, like you see that a lot in dating. So also I emailed her. So I'm better when I can like think out what I have to say. So I think that helped too. But did she, TJ, I obviously wasn't on that, but did she like?
She responded and she actually did follow back up like a week later. And he responded at first kind of combatively, but then came back really around to her way of thought. And she seems super pleased about the progress. She's proceeding cautiously, but optimistically. And she told me to let you know that she was super thankful that you took the time to give her such thoughtful response. So good work, G.
Maybe the extension of this is like a Dear Jenna column.
Sure. We don't just tell dick jokes on Menage-A-Pod, goddammit. I mean, it's mostly dick jokes, but we try to get serious every once in a while.
I don't.
All right, Jenna, so you had a story for us too. What's up with that?
I do have a story. All right. So, Zako, you probably don't know this story, so I'm going to retell it for those that might be new listeners. But a while ago, we talked about this guy. I don't know if we named him. But
we did.
We did. Okay. His name's Eric. And I met him on like Hinge or something. And this would have been probably, I don't know, TJ, like a year and a half ago, maybe?
Yeah, sounds good.
It was actually the night that you, me, and Jenny went out for dinner, whatever night that was. Anyway, so we matched. He was friendly in the beginning. And then we exchanged numbers. And he had said something like, I'm in Colombia right now. And I go, as in like the country? And he goes, and then he's like flipped a switch and he's like, yeah, you dumb bitch. Of course the country. And I was like, whoa, well, there's like a Columbia, South Carolina. And at this point I had some margaritas. So I was like,
he called you a dumb bitch?
He called me a dumb bitch. And I was like,
a little aggressive.
Man. Yeah, super aggressive. And then I was like, whoa, man, I don't know who you think you are. Don't talk to me like that. And then he went off and he was like, you fucking cunt, da-da-da-da-da-da. Like he lost his shit on me. And so
Jesus Christ.
I know. It was so weird and out of the blue. And so then I blocked him. And then I was like, fuck him. And then I reported him. So I reported him on Hinge and I blocked him from my phone. And then
you snitch.
And he's harassed several of our listeners too. So this dude's like a known quantity in the Chicago dating scene.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn, bro, I want to know. Do I know this guy?
We'll get to it.
No, I don't know him.
I mean, I'll send him. I don't know. I'll send you a pic. But he. So then he found me on WhatsApp. So I blocked him on like whatever text, and then he found me on WhatsApp, and he continued his tirade of calling me all these nasty names, and so I blocked him there. And then that was the end.
What a fucking psycho.
Yep, that was the end of that. And then he found me on Instagram, but his Instagram didn't have a picture or really like a full name. It was like EB126, and then it had like a bunch of travel pictures.
Yeah.
I didn't really have anyone in them. And I just sort of assume like when I get random people asking, because my stuff's private, so when I get random people asking, I figure that they're listeners of the podcast.
Yeah.
So I accepted him, and then he started to like DM me and was being like weirdly cryptic about like who he was. And I thought that was weird. And he started to get creepy and be like, I've seen you. I live in your neighborhood. I work out at the gym right by the Marianos. I see you walk into the Starbucks all the time. Like
What
super,
the hell?
yeah, like super creepy stuff. And then I realized who it was. And so I blocked him. And then he tried to find me on Facebook, blocked him there. I mean, it was intense. And then he disappeared for a while. And then in the meantime, he accosted some of our listeners who have written in and been like, is this the guy that Jenna's talking about? Because apparently it doesn't matter if you report him on a dating app. That's so fucked up, because then they let him back on because they're all meeting him on dating apps.
Yeah.
And then he disappeared for a while. And then the other night, like a week ago, or a couple weeks ago, because I sent it to you, TJ, he reached out on WhatsApp with a different number. And I was like, okay, who is this? And he goes, if I told you, you wouldn't want to talk to me. And then he sends a nude picture of him, and he talks about how he like doesn't know what it is about me. We've never met, by the way.
I was gonna just ask, is the pussy that good? God damn.
We never met. And he's like, I don't know what it is about you. I just like can't, like, I want to meet you. I need to like have sex with you. Like, it's super inappropriate. And I was like, dude, I don't even know you.
You're driving this guy fucking crazy, Jenna.
It's not even in a good way. It's really creepy.
Well,
and so
cunt is his go-to insult too. He's called like every woman that we know that knows him a cunt. That's what he goes to.
Is he European?
No.
He's British. He's like fucking cunt.
He is British? If he's British, that's fine. If he's British, that's just like...
It's a fair pass. Yeah, you get a free pass if you're a Brit and you say cunt all the time.
Yeah, if it's from the States, he's very uncreative.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know anything about him. But then he was like talking about how like I'm something about like how I'm used to dating betas and he's an alpha. And I was like, I'm blocking. So I blocked him. And then this was just yesterday, because I kind of let it go and just was like, this guy's weird. I'm just ignoring it. But yesterday he reached out and I blocked him. This morning I woke up to another phone number from him. How many fucking phone numbers?
You're kidding. You got to get a restraining order.
Yeah, this is excessive. Hot damn. I don't want you to turn up murdered. I mean, you get on my nerves, but I will miss you when you're gone.
Legit.
Yeah, dude. You got to get a restraining order. Someone's got to put their hands on, buddy.
Right? Because like, this is exactly why I'm telling this story on air, so that we have like a record of it.
Zako's going to hit him with the KFC 6-piece.
Wow. 3-piece and a biscuit.
He sent me this picture of this woman this morning. She's like half naked and she's doing lines of coke on like a, I don't know.
No invite? What the fuck?
I know. I was going to say, well, at least she likes to party.
And then he goes, what the fuck do you know about sexy, boring ass vanilla cunt? I'm like, what is this guy's deal?
The fact that I don't even know, like the fact that this continues to go on.
Point, yeah. At this point, you gotta just be laughing at this shit.
I mean, the level of absolute dedication to the cause to continuously harass you over a year and a half. He's never even met you. I mean, I've met you, bro. Listen to the podcast. I can tell you, she's not worth it. To quit trying.
That's hurtful. And
I got some great advice when you're done with this story.
I'm done. That's it. So then I blocked him. Like, how many numbers does this fucking guy have? And like, how do I? Like, if I block him on the 8,000 numbers he has and social media, what else can I possibly do?
No. This is here's the thing, Jenna. You're playing checkers right now. You understand me?
Got to play chess.
You got to play chess. Here's what you do. You stop blocking him on everything. You unblock him. You welcome him, right? Oh my goodness. That you remember that dick pic you sent? Yeah. Keep sending them. That's a hog you got tied down there, between a razorback between your legs, my boy. Keep sending them. And then you make a fucking website of this guy, and it's just nothing but his dick pics and screenshots of all this crazy shit he's been saying, and you direct traffic to that motherfucker. Google ads, Facebook ads, let Google search SEO on that shit, and you put this dude on absolute blast in front of everybody, because he's clearly a psychopath, so he's not going to stop. You haven't added any gasoline to this fire, and he is burning up. All you got to do
that would get me murdered.
Giving him some fuel. Let him keep supplying the evidence. You keep you just not asking for it, but just like antagonizing him. Let him send it, and then you put this shit on blast. That, my friends, is 5D chess.
Okay,
I love it.
also would get me murdered. I listen to enough true crime podcasts to know that is adding.
It might get you murdered, but here's the thing: that's a risk that you should be willing to take.
And if she gets murdered, Zako, you want to be my co-host on the true crime podcast about her murder?
Wow.
Oh, yeah, that, and I hear there will be an opening for Menage-A-Pod.
This would have a totally different vibe with two dudes.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll have to tell way different DM stories.
I don't know. It's just weird to me because he knows what I look like, and he apparently has seen me around the neighborhood, and I know what he looks like, sort of, but there's never like a full pic. Like,
is he subscribed to your OnlyFans? Is he getting those $12 a month nipples? Is that what's happening?
This guy is a goofball.
Yeah, it's creepy. It's like now it's beyond creepy, and I just don't want it to escalate, and I don't really like know what to do there. Like I wish that I don't know what.
I think Zako just solved it pretty well. Yeah, just open the floodgates, let this dude make every bit of contact you can, and then put him on blast as hard as humanly possible.
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And then get a restraining order because, like, goddamn.
Yeah.
Because once you embarrass him, he probably will want to kill you. So let's be proactive about not letting that happen.
Yeah, I mean, I do enjoy your advice, but I don't think I'm going to take that one.
Oh, well, you know what? Many people have said that to me in my life. So,
all right, guys. Well, before we jump into some listener questions in the topic, I want to say that this is the stupidest thing ever. This motherfucker right here that you guys are listening to, and Zako and Jenna that you are talking to, I accidentally shaved my eyebrows off last night.
hilarious. Why?
So I trim them like weekly between barber visits, and normally I just do like a 3-guard over the top of them, clips off the like flyaways. Didn't have my contacts in, put a 1-guard on, got like halfway through the first eyebrow, my blurry ass vision. I was like, man, that feels stubbly. And I looked up, I'm like, it's gone. So now I had to commit and shave both eyebrows off. I will say, put it up in my Instagram stories. It's like one of the most engaged with stories I've ever put up ever. So apparently people love the.
What are they saying?
People just want to know why like comedians have been roasting me nonstop.
I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I definitely have no eyebrows.
Holy shit, bro. It looks like you got hit by a backdraft.
Kids, do not play with fire.
Holy shit, looks like you opened the oven too soon, my friend. That looks crazy. That's so funny.
Oh, and in the picture, I'm laughing super hard and I'm high as a kite. So my eyes are like red little puffy slits. You can barely see me.
Yeah. This picture is a picture of a man who just is having a great time. Let's be honest.
Yeah, there's pure
no eyebrows here, but whatever happened before and what's gonna happen after is Funville. That's where you're at. You're in Funville.
Hey, I'll tell you what. I would say I got made fun of by male comedians a lot. At least 20 comedians DM me making fun of me, but at least like 10 women messaged me and were like, still hot, eyebrows or not. So I got that going for me. Thanks, girls.
Yeah, you got 30 DMs, man. Next time I feel lonely, I'm about to shave my eyebrows off.
I got a feeling, since that's actually a good segue, since we're talking DMs on this episode, I think when it comes to feeling lonely on the internet, you're probably one of the last dudes that has to worry about that. I mean, I know the attention I get, and you're both younger, in better shape, and better looking than me, so I can only imagine what your shit looks like.
Yeah. The DM, man, here's the thing. It's not even women that are in my DMs the most. It's gay men. Gay men are in my DMs all the time. They love them some Zako. I'm telling you, dude, if I was into dudes, I would be running through Boys Town. This place, my DMs are loaded in there. And it's funny, too, because I'll be like, thank you so much. Like, I appreciate the conversation, but I'm a straight guy. I hope nothing but good things for you. And then they'll just send me naked pictures of girls. It's the craziest shit I've ever seen. It's unbelievable. I don't know how it works, but it's so funny. And my thing is, I don't like to be rude. So I'll get like a DM from someone at like 1 a.m. and I'll accidentally just start talking to them about Vikings on Netflix until like,
dude, you love that shit.
I'm just like, that is a good show, isn't it? Holy shit, let's transition and segue over to TV shows.
Dude, I actually just DM'd you 2 screenshots of a DM slide that I got from an older gay man just a couple days ago.
Oh yeah.
And he's hardcore Republican. His Instagram is him mostly naked in a lot of photos. It's the craziest shit I've ever seen.
Is madness. This picture you sent me is just madness. And then he just posted one random picture of a young guy. Like, this is the type I'm into.
Yep. And
it's just a bunch of naked pictures of him, another young guy, and then one thing that says, hey, you should invest in Bitcoin. It's like, bro, what is your fucking, what's your genre?
Dude, what's up with his little cartoon drawing? And guys, you know what? I'll block out the username and his face, but there's a couple things I got to share. So I'm going to put this on our Instagram stories the day this releases so you can see this, because it's pretty fucking funny. But what's up with the cartoon on the upper right-hand corner? He literally has like a stylized comic drawing of himself in like leather ball sack holder and vest.
Yeah, that's crazy. That means he found an artist on Instagram that he liked his style and sent a message. He was like, hey, I want to commission a piece of work. And the guy was like, okay, yeah, just, what would you like? And he sent him that picture of him in a Speedo and a leather vest and was like, caricature that. Turn that shit into a cartoon and give it to me. That's my new profile for everything. That's my new avatar.
Well, his bio is father and grandfather, gay Republican, ready for a serious relationship. Girls are not welcome. So there you have it, guys. Right up my alley.
Wow.
Old man in Jackson Township. And I think he tried to put the Confederate flag, but because iPhone isn't racist and doesn't have a Confederate flag emoji,
It's just a British flag.
He just used the British flag. He's like, that's close enough.
Wow.
Oh man, that's great.
Although for an old man, I'm gonna just say it. His body's not terrible.
It's not. I'm gonna give this guy some credit. He's working.
Yeah.
He's working, but I mean, you can buy a lot of protein shakes when you invest in Bitcoin.
He also has 12,000 followers.
Oh yeah, so see, we're talking shit, but he's punching down.
Yeah, he is.
And my favorite part about this is he tried to send you hi,
but he sent me ho.
First. So now it just the first two messages to you are ho, hi. It's like, damn, is that hi? Damn, that's one way to get someone's attention. Ho, hi.
It's honestly like he knew me already, though. I mean, that feels seen.
That's so funny.
I know I'm disappointed right now that he has 12,000 followers and I only have like 1,300. That's fucking travesty of justice, goddammit.
Yeah, he's killing it. Well, I'm about to be a gay Republican and invest in Bitcoin and see if my followers go up.
Like a weird
that's a very specific niche, bro, but you do you.
Yeah, I don't know what his market is. But then again, Joe Exotic ran $1 million tiger exhibit where a bunch of inbred incels went to, and he was loaded. So there's market out there for anybody.
So true.
All right. Well, enough about our accidental gay Republican DM slides. Let's jump into some listener questions. So this is kind of a weird one, and I don't know. Just kind of curious how you both feel, Zako and Jenna. But a female listener wrote in and says, and interpret this however you want because it's kind of confusing. A female listener is curious how men and women, and since there's one man and one woman here, you guys fit, perceive sex toys from previous relationships. So I think she's talking about reusing sex toys.
Got me fucked up.
Wait, what? I don't get
A
it.
female listener is curious how men and women perceive sex toys from previous relationships.
So meaning what? Like he has a sex toy and brings it over to her house to use?
I guess.
No, I think that means like there's just like there was a relationship. Someone acquired a sex toy. They broke up. And it was in the contract. If we break up, I get to keep the dildo. That person kept the dildo, got into a new relationship.
Ooh,
and
I
now
like
it. And now they're like, should we still, reuse?
Yeah, who cares?
This dildo's got miles on it.
Yeah, who
Well,
cares?
that brings up two questions. First of all, sex toy contract. We need like a sex toy prenup. That's got to be a thing going forward.
Mm-hmm.
The minute they're not cheap. I don't know if you guys I know, Jenna, you've bought sex toys. Zach, I don't know where you stand on them, but they are not cheap. And if you're dropping a couple $100 and a few pieces of that, you definitely want to spell out in advance the ownership going forward. And is that weird? Like, I mean, if you I guess it is weird to reuse it even if it's like sanitized and whatever. What do you think, Jenna?
Well, listen, I think if it's yours, right? Like if someone were to, these are mine already, right? So like, of course, if I'm with someone who like, we use it together, they're still mine either. And like, even if it like came as a present, of course I'm going to use, it's mine now. It's mine. So we're just going to use it whenever we want. Now, if it was somebody else's, right? Like I was in a relationship and a guy was like, hey, I don't know, I have a dildo, like, can we use it? Or if whatever, I'd be like, it just feels a little unsanitary to me, even though they clean it. But that's just me. But I know other people wouldn't care. Actually know a lot of people who wouldn't care.
I'm weirded out that you're into dudes that typically own dildo.
I don't. It was a hypothetical. I don't think I've ever actually encountered that. Well, that's actually
Jenna's pegged so many dudes. So many dudes.
No, when I was 25, that happened. But he also, I found out later, was married, so that would make sense. It was probably her, but I didn't know at the time. That's the only time that's ever happened to me. I mean, who knows? I don't know what people do. Kinky people do a lot of crazy shit. I'm sure they have like a whole, like, I was gonna say toolbox, but you know what I mean. They probably have a whole like drawer full of shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
So
I'm defensively very kinky. I don't really like push the issue, but if it's brought to me, I'm in the game. You know what I mean? So if a girl pulls out a dildo and brings it into the bedroom, I'm not asking questions. Sure. I'm not figuring out how many miles this thing has. I'm just gonna put it somewhere.
You want like proof of purchase and chain of ownership. You'd be like, I'm gonna need to see some receipts on this so I know exactly when you purchased it and where it's been used before.
Me? I don't need none of that shit. You pull that shit out, all I'm doing is checking if it turns on. Turn on, put it somewhere.
I know Zach was like, is this going in you or me? Who cares?
I'll ask questions later. Shove that somewhere. Put it in me. I don't care. Put it to this line.
You know, the person that I've been most recently intimate with is almost like borderline obsessed with getting a finger up my ass. And I don't hate it. I've never really had it happen before, at least not as like she's all about it. Like, I don't mind it, if I'm being honest. I don't mind it.
Get up in me. That's my motto. Get up in me. I have like I started with a one knuckle rule. My rule was you could get up to the first knuckle. And then if we're together for more than 3 months, you can go to the second knuckle. And then if we ever get married, one day when I get engaged, she'll be able to get all the way up to the base knuckle, you know, that little third nut with the joint where it meets the hand. But right now, I've only made it to the second knuckle in terms of relationship duration. So when people ask me, like, how long you been together? I'm like, well, she's fingering me up to the second knuckle. So
dude, that's hysterical.
Times, yeah. But I like it, man. I'm big on my shit. Tickle it, blow on it, whatever you got to do so you feel good about it. I like when they have the long. You know how girls wear long eyelashes. I like when they have long eyelashes. They go down there and wink on the brown eye. That's my favorite thing. Go down there and wink on it.
I saw that unfolding in real time.
Go down there and wink on it like a butterfly. I like that.
Fuck. Oh, shit. I have had just the appropriate amount of marijuana for that to be as hysterical as it could possibly be.
Oh, yeah. Anytime I see a girl with long eyelashes, that's all I think now. And I even text the girl that used to do it like, damn, I miss you and those eyelashes. So
bad. All right, Jenna, why don't you jump into the next one? This will be fast.
Jacob, our friend Jacob from the Big Gay Roundup wants to know what my thoughts are on the new Selling Sunset episodes. And I have a lot of thoughts. Do you guys watch it?
What is it?
Selling Sunset. It's this like reality show about like hot women who sell houses on Netflix. And some of them are tangentially famous. I don't watch it religiously, but I am aware of it.
I would never in my life put that on my television set.
Yeah, I only thought because a woman watched it and I happened to be near her.
Reality TV to me, I don't know why, but I just can't. I can't get behind it. I watch some TV, but I like Vikings and Game of Thrones. I want to know that there's a chance to see a dragon. You know what I mean? You're not catching that on Sunset Silly or whatever this shit's called. Love Island. I watch Love Island. I know I'm not about to see a dragon. But Last Kingdom, Vikings, always a chance.
I think
Sunset Silly should definitely be the new name. I love it.
I think it depends on what you like. If it's like a real dragon, because these ladies can be fucking crazy. It's
hilarious.
It's a lot of like whatever catty bullshit. So I'm just gonna give you my 5-second roundup here. I think the last season was bananas because you'll know these people. Well, maybe. The one girl, her name's Chriselle. She was married to Justin Hartley. You know who Justin
And that's the dude who played The Flash, right? Or what did he play? He was in some show of some importance.
Justin Hartley was in This Is Us. Do you guys?
Yeah, he also was in like some WB show as a superhero, maybe Arrow or some shit.
Maybe, but he really hit his stride with This Is Us. He was also in like Passions or some bullshit like Days of Our Lives. But really, like, no one knew who he was until he was.
Zako watches that religiously.
And he's very handsome and whatever. And they got married. They were together for like 6 years. They got married. They were only married for 2 years. Sounds like me. And he left her out of nowhere. She had no idea it was coming. And he did it over a text message.
Gangster. I love it.
Right.
Over text message? That's so
Fuck it.
fucked up.
How 2020? I haven't had a phone conversation in like 4 years. If we're breaking
Yeah,
up, you're getting a
I
text
broke
message.
up over a text message. I'm all about efficiency, not emotion.
Yeah, for sure. I broke up with a text message that Jenna wrote for me, so that's super efficient. Fuck.
There it is.
Well, that's true, but you barely knew her. They were married. They were together 8 years. That's fucked up. Like that's
8 years, 8 minutes, text message. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I don't know. So anyway, that was the biggest takeaway. And then I actually went onto his Instagram because I follow him, and like people were trolling the shit out of him. It was like for a month back, all the new posts, like everything was like, "You're so shitty. How could you do that?" So I think he's going to have a big PR nightmare now on his hands.
All right. Well, there's some selling sunset thoughts for Jacob. This next one I'm super stoked about because it's kind of a crazy experience. I really want to hear what you guys think. Zako, you in particular, because I think you could probably make this fucking hysterical. So a female listener reached out and said she just recently got back with an ex from 4 years ago. After a couple months of dating, her most recent ex and her struck up a conversation and texted like for an entire day, with it eventually turning sexual. Oh. And this all happened while she was on vacation in Colorado with her current boyfriend / 4 years ago ex. She says she still has feelings for both guys, but the recent ex is better in bed, and she definitely wants to at least sleep with him one more time. What should she do?
Wait, that is so much crazy shit all at once. I need you to break that down for me again. What happened?
Oh, okay, so female listener, she had just started dating. She's been dating for a few months, an ex from 4 years ago. She just got back with him. Within the last week, she reached out to her most recent ex and they started kind of chatting. Well, that happened. They ended up talking like all day long, with it eventually turning into like sexting. Mm-hmm. All of this happened while she was on vacation in Colorado with this new boyfriend / the dude she dated 4 years ago.
Oh boy.
She says that she still has feelings with both guys, but the recent ex, the dude who she wasn't in Colorado with, is better in bed and she wants to sleep with him at least one more time. What should she do?
Sleep with him. You have one life, man. Sleep with him. You're not married. This. Sleep with him.
Yes, do it.
Sleep with him, and don't even tell your new boyfriend. You know what I mean? Don't fucking tell him, because he doesn't need that bullshit. If you like him and he likes you, aim for a future where you're happy together. But go and get your nut now.
You want me to
I love that. Zako, you said exactly what I wanted you to say.
No one's hurt here. No one's getting hurt.
Yes, they are. That's so terrible. That's terrible advice.
You think?
Yes.
Jenna, you say what your advice is, and then I'm going to say something that you guys got to hear.
I understand where you're going with this, but I also and yes, I get it. I get it. But like, I don't know. I think that's shitty. First of all, if you're dating someone, you shouldn't be sexting anyone else, period. Done. Like, come on, guys, your feelings would be hurt. Like if you, like TJ, this new girl that you've been hanging out with, right? Like you haven't been with her that long. You haven't known her that long. But if you saw her sexting with somebody else, that would hurt. So I don't really know. I think she's fucking up all over the place, if I'm being totally honest. I think she's wrong in so many levels here. And that if she wants to sleep with the other guy, then she shouldn't be with the one she's with anyway. Because she obviously doesn't like him enough to be faithful, period.
Sure.
You know why my advice is to sleep with him? My advice is to sleep with him because she's already fucked up.
Totally.
She's already fucked up. So fucking sleep with him. Well, now you're just driving yourself crazy. And here's the thing. This isn't a good girl here, right?
Clearly.
So it's not like if she doesn't sleep with this guy, she's not going to cheat on this guy, her boyfriend in the future. She's a cheater. She's a habitual cheater. So you might as well cheat with what you know is good.
Yeah.
Go get your nut, girl. You're a cheater. That's who you are.
Yeah.
He's going to find out you're a cheater. It's okay. He's going to find out you're a cheater. So you might as well cheat to the best of your ability.
Sure. This poor guy she's currently dating.
Holy shit. That's hilarious. Well, now I definitely stand by everything I said.
Dude.
That's hilarious. Yeah, absolutely. Cheat. She's a cheater. She's going to always be a cheater. Might as well get that nut.
Yeah.
Hey, just wanted to check in and see how you're doing.
Yeah.
Just wanted to make sure you're handling the breakup as best as you can. And also, do you still love me? Oh, what a Dennis
Exactly.
Rodman rebound that was.
Yeah.
There you
Yeah,
go.
for
I mean,
sure.
that's clearly it's not going to last.
No, I mean, yeah, I mean, it doesn't bode well for anybody, not any of them. So now we're back to what's actually going to be in the episode. We'll leave your last comments in, Zako, but this is kind of a disaster. I mean, I support everyone sleeping with each other because, you know, as you said, you only have one life to live. Nobody's married, and I don't think any of these people are ever going to get married. So fuck who you want. Live
Right.
your life.
Absolutely. I agree. If you're a cheater, cheat. And don't pretend you're not a cheater. You know what I mean? If you're a cheater, fucking cheat. If you're not, be faithful and don't cheat. But don't be a cheater and then try to figure out who you can morally cheat with. You know what I mean? Just because he's your ex-boyfriend doesn't mean you can't cheat. You're a cheater, sweetheart. You're a cheat. That's what you do. And he's going to find out the same way your ex found out. And so that's why it's just like, just cheat to the best of your ability and continue living. Donate to a cause. Black Lives Matter.
I love the tie-in there. That's 100%. All right. So although this episode is ostensibly about DMing and DMing rules, we're cutting into the topic pretty late, a solid 50 minutes into the episode. So we're going to kind of compress a little bit what we were going to talk about with an eye towards the fact that we have already talked a little bit about DM slides, but I do want to jump into that. So let's get into the intro. You know, as mentioned, the DM slide, everyone knows it. It's a classic move. Done well, it can be a shortcut to intimacy, an ideal way to escalate conversation for the purposes of, you know, dating, flirting, hooking up if you're lucky enough. But if you do it badly, it at best is an invasion of privacy. For those of you who don't know and who doesn't at this point, a DM slide, it's when you just message someone you don't know, get in their Instagram inbox or their Twitter inbox. Mm-hmm. It's an easy way to kind of take it out of the public light and into one-on-one territory with sort of the intentions of seeing someone's potential interest. You know, it's like putting out the feelers. But the inbox, it's a sacred space, and you want to make sure that you do this with tact. I know from my exhaustive history as both a sender and receiver of DMs that it can go pretty poorly. So with that in mind, we're going to talk about some suggested piece of DM slide etiquette and help you navigate the waters. But before we do that, I want to check in with everyone here on their overall attitude about DM slides. And while we do this, I want to warn everybody, we might have a few experts here on the subject. Okay. So Zako, with that said, let's start with you, man. What's your overall view on DM slides? I know we talked about it a little bit in your last time on the show, and, you know, being a good looking dude with a pretty sizable social media following, I'm sure you do get some action, but what's your take on DM slides?
I think they're great.
Fuck yeah.
I think they're absolutely incredible. I think, how else? I mean, you know what I mean? How else are you supposed to achieve that in which you desire? I mean, it's easier than social media, or it's easier than dating apps, because in dating apps, you get a little bit of information and then you swipe right and then you put the phone down and you think about it all day and you hope, right? That's what you do. But in Instagram, you get to see the last 5 years of their life. I don't know, 6, 7 maybe. True. And then you have direct communication. It's not a swipe right. You can be a gentleman. You can show me exactly who you are. You can be a lovely lady. Hello, how's it going? Get up in there. My thing is this. How can you ever achieve that in which you want if you don't fucking go after it? You know what I mean? I look at relationships the same way I look at my entertainment career. This is what I want to do for the rest of my life. I'm going to put my best foot forward and I'm going to slide up in those DMs. And I usually do it with a joke too. That's the key. You gotta do it with a little bit of your personality. Open with personality, because, and here's the thing, there is something to say that a DM is more, what would we say, ethical than a dating app, because a dating app is just, oh yeah, she's hot, I'd fuck, swipe right. Mm-hmm. A DM it's communication. Do you accept this little piece of my personality here in this first few sentences, that I have enough courage to slide in these DMs and strike up a real meaningful conversation with you? You know what I do? I don't even slide into DMs anymore. I Instagram video call.
Do you really?
Yeah, man. You never did that?
Are you sure? I mean, I have done it, but I've never done it as the slide, never as the first communication. I got to ask though, and the ladies listening are wondering, do you do that shirtless?
I don't do it shirtless. I have more tact.
Okay. All right.
I'm from the South. I still got a little bit of gentleman in me. I don't do it. That was a test.
You passed.
I don't do it shirtless. I video call, and then usually they don't answer. And then they go, was that an accident? And I go, Absolutely not. But I'm the kind of guy that tries to really get what I want. You know what I mean?
Oh, smooth.
And then they're like, now they're interested, or I get blocked. One of the two things happens.
That's too.
But
too
that's a risk
possible.
I'm willing to. That's a risk I'm willing to take. I swing for the fences. No bunts my way.
No, of course not. I mean, anything worth having is worth shooting. I always say all the time, I shoot my shot so hard I dislocate my shoulder. You got to put yourself out there.
Shooters got to shoot. I'm making shirts. Here's the thing. If you want to know what kind of testicular fortitude you have, my friends, my gentlemen out there, stop DM sliding. Anybody can do that. Go ahead and hit that little camera button on the top right of their message. See what happens next. That's where life begins.
I actually think you're right there. I think I'm not a huge fan of the DM slide because I'm like, well, first of all, my shit's private, but like I've had like random people just like reach out. This one guy recently actually wanted to come for 4th of July and was like, I don't even know you. I find them a little creepy. I just do. And I don't know why, but I think if someone was to take it to the next level, like you just said, I may not find it as creepy. Because you're right. It's like, wow, that guy's got balls. Okay, I see you. And
big old nuts to hit that button.
Here's a question for both of you. Jen, I'll start with you before I put some thoughts in on this. When's the last DM slide you got? Was this, you said just in the last couple of days?
This for me?
No, for Jenna. This one's for G.
Me, it was probably like 2 weeks ago. Well, July.
Okay.
That's the last one.
Okay, when's the last DM slide? Have you ever gotten one and been receptive to it?
Well, no, because none of them are local. A lot of people that like decide to talk to me or live somewhere else, and you know how I feel now about long distance relationships. My therapist won't let me do them.
You don't want to be on 90 Day Fiance? You're not trying to live that life?
No.
Jenna, it's the goddamn quarantine. Everything is a long distance relationship.
I know that's fair. Well, that's fair. That's true. This is true. Yeah.
I love long distance relationships. I want to love someone that I don't have to see that much.
Thank you.
And honestly, they're great if you like to cheat too. That's a big thing.
That's
if you're
true.
a cheater,
I'm not big into cheating. I'm not big into cheating anymore because I ran through that life. It's the same reason why I don't like go to clubs anymore.
Sure.
Because I did it in like my early 20s, too much. It got played out, and it's like it just brings on so much anxiety. You know what I mean? You cheat, and then you think she's cheating, and then you think everyone's cheating. You think your best friend's cheating. You think your dog's cheating on you. You think your dog's hanging out with the neighbors, sleeping with him. You think your roommates are cheating on you. You think they're going and sleeping with the neighbors too. And everybody's cheating on you. You think your parents are cheating on you. You think your parents adopted a new kid. Everybody's cheating on you. You cheat once, and now your whole world's cheating on you. And I just cannot handle that kind of anxiety. All right, I already chew my nails like a heroin addict. I don't need that in my life.
Yeah, I saw your bit in this week's Unemployables episode about nail biting versus heroin. That was pretty hysterical.
Yeah, I'm glad you appreciate it because CG's didn't.
Oh, you used it on stage this weekend and it didn't land?
Man, I had a great show last night, but if one of the jokes didn't work, it was about me downplaying the severity of heroin addicts.
Especially in the south suburbs where there's like a ton of heroin.
Yeah. I was like, okay, never mind. Back to your previously scheduled program.
Yeah, there were at least 4 people in the crowd last night who have a relative who died from heroin abuse.
Oh no, it was it was perceptive. My thing is this: like, if I get any reaction out of the crowd, it was a good bit, and I got a reaction. I got a reaction. No, this weekend, man, the weekend went great. I actually I just edited out. I did 53 minutes last night. And I just edited it out. I'll send it over to you, man. It's good stuff.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that. I actually was trying to come out on Saturday night, but schedules just didn't line up. But I still, I've got comedy on the brain. So I was like, man, what if I go see Zako and I like his bits too much and then I end up stealing them all and using them as my own? I was like, that won't be a good look. So
take them, man. Take them.
There's enough funny for everyone, man. I appreciate you being willing to share. All right. So my DM thoughts, I love them, obviously. You know, as someone who is kind of like, an awkward, dorkier kid. I mean, like good at stuff, but definitely very like uncomfortable with myself and late to getting attention from women. When that started happening, I feel like no matter what I look like or what level of like success that I have, I'm always just like a fat 14-year-old with a mullet inside. So I never get sick. If a good looking woman sends me a DM, no matter what my situation is, I mean, I won't cheat, but I will like be like, thank you. That's flattering. And through whatever reason, I don't know how this is the case, but apparently if you really want to like make some inroads, just start a dating podcast.
Yeah.
I had no idea that people would like that so much. The amount of shit that I get DM'd because of the show, and Jenna sees it because we share an account, and sometimes they message my personal, sometimes they message this, but I love it. I think we talk a lot about like toppling the patriarchy and what the society looks like and various like cultural things that exist that maybe aren't the greatest. And I think DM culture is incredible because it empowers both people. And just as easy as a dude can slide in and say whatever, a woman can do just the same thing. And I think that there's something that's sort of like liberating and it levels the playing field a little bit. And as a dude who is still kind of like an awkward, weird guy, it's like getting that first reach out and having like someone like show that they're interested. It's proof, man. Shoot your shot. I mean, don't be a total fucking creep about it. But if you want to meet someone, you want to talk to someone, you want to get to know someone, just like Zako said, put yourself out there, say what you got to say, try to follow some basic civil rules. Like do it like you like talk to them like you met them in real life. Like if you think to yourself, hey, would I walk up to this woman at this bar and say some creepy shit about the way her ass looks in those pants? As my first sentence? No.
Dude, you nailed it too. And like here's the thing too. And like all jokes aside, here's the real thing. There's so many people that think that the way that I can, or the way that I've gotten girlfriends or been able to get women or whatever in the past has been strictly based on my height or my looks, which I'm not going to lie to you. It's a good attribute. Okay.
Sure.
Those are two good things on the old resume, but it's also because I don't talk to women less than. I don't talk to women more than. I don't talk to women like they're different species, like they're different creatures. But I was also raised by women. I also had women best friends when I was younger. You know what I mean? Like when I was in high school, we like the girls group hung out with the guys group without like all having to have sex with each other. You know what I mean? We were all just like friends and we grew up together and we learned. It wasn't like we learned to respect each other because that would mean that there's like some kind of disconnect there that we had to forge back. It was just like we just saw each other as equals and we were all doing the same shit. We made fun of each other the same way. We said the same words to each other. We weren't afraid to not be ourselves around each other. And that was like my entire life. So that just carried through into my adulthood to where it is now. So if I'm on a date with a girl for the first time, I'm just Zako. I'm not wearing a button-up shirt with gel in my hair and trying to use big words and pretend like I'm something that I'm not, because it's just like this. At first, this is just another person. This is a friend that I'm talking to. And so often you see guys talking to women as if they're like a different species or as if it's like a job interview where they have got to impress them. And the best way to impress somebody is to not try to impress somebody. That's the best way.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Just be authentic and be genuine. And I think in this context, being in someone's DMs or communicating digitally, it truly is no different from how you would be in real life. So keeping that mindfulness and keeping that just level of like civility and personal respect, it's like that can go a long way. And speaking from experience, guys I'm friends with who I've seen their interactions, or women I'm friends with who've showed me messages they've got. If we have male listeners out there, let me tell you, the bar for us is very, very low.
Yeah, just don't rape. Have you watched LA? Just don't grab people and don't rape, and you're ahead of the game. This place is crazy. The world's coming to shit. Be normal. The bar's low. Don't be an idiot.
Yeah.
Like don't be creepy. And this one, Jenna, this is great for what you were talking about earlier. It's important to know when to walk away. Sometimes you connect with someone, maybe they don't respond to your first message. If that's the case, I think you got free reign to send them one more message. Beyond that, you're being a fucking creep. Leave it alone. And if someone's really not receptive, like Jenna and our good friend Eric, sending someone messages across several platforms and several phone numbers over 18 months, that is not even a close to appropriate behavior. That is straight up fucking stalking, and you are like mentally unwell. You need to get checked. So you got to know when to walk away.
Yeah. And you got to be yourself, man. Like no one wants to be with a cookie cutter version of a human being. You know what I mean? Nobody wants to be with just this bland, basic person, and nobody's truly inertly like that. Not too many people really are. The people that come off like that are the people that are afraid to talk about their passions and the things they enjoy and what really drives them in life. Then they come off as basic and bland. But no one's really like that. The people that are afraid to talk about themselves. There's a rule in comedy. There's one of Bill Hicks, actually, legend. One of his principles of comedy are if you can be yourself on stage, nobody else can be you. and you have the law of supply and demand covered. So if you attach that, and I'm a very I love analogies. So if something works in one scenario, I can just assume I can make it work in another. So if that's true to like my career and that's true to the stage, then it's also got to be true, in a dating situation, in a relationship. If I can be me and just truly me on a date, then I've got that supply and demand covered. So it's either she knows that she's not going to get me anywhere else, or she knows that she just doesn't. And that could go one of two ways. That could go, she just doesn't want that, or like she loves that. But either way, I'm supply and demand's covered. You're never going to feel this experience again. I'm genuinely me. And that's the thing I like. I like to put the ball in other people's courts. Here's me, unfiltered, completely honest. You know what you're going to get. And now it's up to you to decide whether or not that you want that in your life, because I don't want to stress over the fact of figuring out whether or not you do.
Yeah. I think another part that we're all not saying is the reality is that the net of all of this is that things are a lot less creepy when you're hot. If you're an attractive person and you slide into my DMs, I'm going to be like, you're a little creepy, but like you're hot. I'm going to see where this goes. I'm being honest, right? Like, if
then that's y'all are setting that precedent then.
Well, am I, or is that just like how that works? I feel like if there was a super hot woman who like was a little creepy and you were like, holy moly, who is this person? You wouldn't care what she said.
Hell no, that's definitely not true.
Really?
I did keep talking to a woman who stalked me. I went back to talking to her like 4 or 5 times just because she was super hot. So, I mean,
stalking's different. I'm into crazy. Don't get me wrong. I'm into crazy. I don't want you to cut me, but I don't want to know that you won't. You understand what I'm saying? I'm into a little bit of a psychopath, but that's not like, if you're a goofball, like weirdo, I don't care how hot you are. Like that, I'm just not into that. I'm into people's personalities. I fuck with your brain. You know what I mean? That's what I like. I like being able to have a conversation with somebody and all that. And so to me, it's not like, if you're super hot and I can't connect with you on any sort of level, I'm going to just let this shit slide. But again, there are also like gender differences. So who knows? I don't know. But my thing is, you can't set that preference and then also, get upset at someone who's, you know what I mean? Like, you can't, I think that's wrong to do that, because if I message you on some creep shit and you allow it, and then some other guy messages you on some creep shit and he's getting Me Too'd, then I think that's bullshit. I think that's a precedent that you're setting. I don't think that's on the guy.
Sure. Well, I don't think, and to Jenna's point, I don't think she's necessarily saying that it's like, quote unquote, okay. Yeah. It's just that I think as a society, we know that people who look a certain way get treated better, whether that's like whether we're talking about race, whether we're talking about sex, whether we're talking about like objective human appearance. They're just like, that happens, and it's unfortunate as fuck. But the reality is if you're a tall, good-looking dude who is in good shape and you slide into someone's DMs, you can say some shit that's maybe a little bit wilder than the 5'8", 350-pound bald guy in the like SpongeBob t-shirt. Like,
true. I mean, and I'm not saying that that's not true. It is true, but at the same time, you got to stop that. We got to stop that. We got to level out that playing field. Same way we got to stop racism. Same way we got to stop sexism. We got to stop that shit, because there shouldn't be situations where you can look back and be like, oh yeah, but this person would have got away with that. You know what I mean? We got to figure out like what's actually fucked up and what's actually not.
Right. Agree 100%. Jenna, what do you think?
No, I agree. I agree. You make a solid point. Shockingly, okay. I'm very surprised by.
Well, because the thing is, like, I don't want to, because here's the problem with that, and this is my problem with like when you were talking about earlier when you were like, that guy was like, oh, you're just used to beta males.
Yeah, that was.
You're just used to beta males. It's like, bro, what do you fucking think an alpha is? What you're doing? No fuck. And then here's what happens, right? So now you got this guy parading around talking about he's an alpha. You're not used to betas, and his idea of an alpha is being able to call women cunts and however they want to talk to women. So then what happens is that gets in your head subconsciously, as that's what people who believe they're alphas think alphas are. Totally. And then when you get someone who's like a genuine, just masculine dude, right? Mm-hmm. He's a gentleman, right? But he's still like masculine guy. He's from a definition alpha male. Now you've got people that are going to talk down and try to bring down the movement of just pure masculinity because of the acts of someone that's portraying that. And you want to make an analogy. It's the same thing with Black Lives Matter, right? Black Lives Matter movement's about peace. It's about equality. It's about bringing everyone getting to play on the same playing field. But then you've got these outliers that are out there killing people, hurting people, looting, killing police officers, claiming there was Black Lives Matter, and it puts a black eye on the entire movement. Yeah. And that's not what happens. So like, that's why like me, even on stage or even in like real life, I make sure even when people get around me, like this, guys have the tendency to get around me and get real huffy puffy and think they can say like crazy shit to me. And I'll like laugh about it, like crazy shit about women and all this other stuff. And I'm the first one to check a dude like, yo,
sure.
Like don't fucking, I don't know like who you think I am or like what I would agree with, but like those are my virtues, those are my values. And I don't let people talk to me or talk like that around me. And we've got to continue to do that because I don't think it's a bad thing to be alpha. I don't think it's a bad thing to be masculine. I just think the outliers that are claiming to be so are the ones that are ruining and bringing a black eye and creating the toxic masculinity, which is a true thing. And that's why we got to keep just fucking one step at a time, just bringing that down.
Well, I think Go ahead, Jenna.
No, I was just going to say, like, I have always loved who you are, Zako, but that made me love you even more.
Oh, thank you so much, Jenna.
Because you know what?
I love you too.
I got to be honest with you. Like, I feel like when people see someone who is like handsome and funny and all these things, you sort of get this idea of them in your head of what you expect them to be like, which is probably why those people will say things to you that you're like, whoa, that's not my belief, right? Because the image of someone in your brain of how they are. So it really,
you would be shocked to see what some of these dudes feel comfortable saying around me, and you would be shocked. And that's why, like, I don't really get along with a lot of guys because I don't think the way a lot of guys think. I think,
sure,
and I'm not afraid to like check somebody near me. So as soon as you check a guy and that ego comes up, they just don't understand it, and then next thing you know, I'm the asshole. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's funny.
Fucking dare you, you asshole.
Yeah, so it's funny, and I'm not trying to. And trust me, I'm not sitting up here saying like I'm a saint, but I know my flaws, and I know, I know the goodness in me, and I know my flaws too. Like my obviously, I'm single, so I know my flaws. You know what I mean? My flaws are typically relationship based, but my flaws aren't morally.
Yeah,
I'm pretty morally sound, and that has a lot to do with being raised in the South by women. Really, I got a gay sister, Puerto Rican stepdad. There really wasn't time for me to be racist or sexist or hate gay people.
Yeah,
didn't have any. Just wasn't raised in that environment, luckily, and that's just something that I continue to be with. It just so happens I ended up being 6'5". But here's the thing: I don't just work out and be tall. Like I'm a strange person, man. And 1 minute I'm deadlifting 500 pounds, the next time I'm walking back playing Pokemon Go. You know what I mean? I'm a weird. There's a bunch of different shit about me, so.
Dude. But the fact that you're so weird is honestly one of the big reasons why I think I personally like you so much, and why I think you're one of my favorite IG follows. So everybody out there, definitely make sure you're following Zako. It's just ZAKO.Ryan, or is it any dot in it? I don't even know. What's your handle?
No dot, just Zako Ryan, ZAKO Ryan.
Yeah, definitely check him out. And then since we're talking this, I think this will be a good place to sort of wrap up this part of the conversation. Since we were talking about sort of toxic masculinity and kind of bringing down these kind of outdated pillars of our institutions and things that are really rightfully should be taken down, I want to know what you guys think about this. There's a term that people call Tindstagram. I'd never heard of it before I was doing research for this episode, but the actual content of what it is something that I'm very familiar with. So apparently this is if you are rejected on a dating app and then you reach out, try to find them on social media. So like they swipe left on you on Instagram or Bumble, or maybe, I'm sorry, Tinder or Bumble. Or say they match with you and you maybe one message or whatever, and then it just dies down. And then later on they reach out to you on Instagram.
Yeah.
So they're saying like, do not do this. Have you ever done that? Have you ever I don't know how you use dating apps. I know me personally, I put my social media handles in my dating apps, but I think this is a super good example of a pretty toxic behavior. What do you think?
Nope. Let me tell you something. You put your Instagram handle on your dating profile.
Sure.
That's on you. That's on you. If you put your Instagram dating handle on your dating profile, that's on you for someone to reach out. You've opened that door. You left that door wide open. You know
I did
what I
it
mean?
on purpose.
Exactly. So I can't put my Instagram on and be like, hey, don't DM me. I swiped you left. Because then I could just take that shit off there. You know what I mean? That's mixed signals. if you just want to be contacted through your social media or through your dating app, don't put your social media on your dating app. Because here's my thing. If I want something, I'm going to try my hardest to get it. You know what I mean? To the extent of what's okay. And if I look and I see, oh, this girl's very pretty. And the first thing is, oh, I'm at Samantha Lynn on Instagram. I'm going to swipe her right. And then I'm going to go on Instagram and check out at Samantha Lynn. And if she seems like a cool person, I'm going to follow her. Now, if she doesn't swipe me right in the future, who knows? Whatever. But I'm not going to be considered a creep because you're advertising your Instagram on the first thing of your bio. And I bought what you were selling, baby. Supply and demand. Take it down. If you don't want people checking out your Instagram on your social media, take it down.
Okay, but here's one for you. Say they don't have it in their app, but somehow, like maybe it's on Hinge, and because of that, you get their full name. So you look them up on LinkedIn, you look them up on Facebook, and next thing you know, you're DMing them somewhere. How do you feel about it then?
I mean, I don't look at social media that like big, so it's like I would just block that person if I didn't want them in my life. And I'm sure, how many people do you think have probably done that to you? Probably a handful. Or probably more than that. Probably tons of people. And you never know. You don't know where they're coming from because if you swipe them left, I mean, how many people can you swipe left in a day, TJ? 100? 200?
No, I don't swipe left on anybody, bro. All rights, all day long.
I mean, either way, like how you don't remember every single person. You can see hundreds of people every day on a dating app. So if you get a couple new followers in a week, you're not going to know where they followed you from. You know what I mean? But if you don't want them following you, just block it. Me, I welcome anybody. If I don't like you on a dating app and you follow me on Instagram, whatever, come get these jokes. Look at my dog. He's cute.
Yeah, that's how I feel. That's why I put it in there. It's like the social. Oh, go ahead, Jenna.
Sorry. I was going to say anyone who puts their Instagram or social media in their profile, I will swipe left on purpose because that person to me is not in this for something real. They want to get the followers on their Instagram. So
you're absolutely right. And that is exactly why I do it.
Same girl, same. Like, fuck.
I know. And that's why those people, I just don't take them seriously. And if you're on a dating app to meet someone seriously, then that's probably not the person for you. And if it is, like if whatever, you want to try your luck and DM them, totally right. I think you're right. Like there's a reason they're putting it on there. They're inviting you to do that. I think it gets creepy when on a scenario like Hinge where you have a last name on your profile once you connect with someone. And if it doesn't work out, then like, I think it's a little weird for them to connect with you unless you're like open to just having friends. So like for me, I think it's weird. For you, Zako, probably not because then they could become a fan. I think it just depends on your situation too.
Yeah, it just depends on the situation. But really like, oh man, you know what I hate? I hate when people like, they set themselves up for something to happen knowing damn well that thing can happen and then complain about it.
Yeah.
Like I'm not about to put my Instagram right on my Bumble and then I swipe someone left, she follows me and I'm like, oh my God, didn't she get the hint? You know what I mean? Like go fuck yourself, dude. You put it right there.
Yep.
Do you have a name for that character you just did?
Idiot.
I like it. I see you've been working on your improv skills. Good job there, man.
Yeah, Sean would be proud.
Oh my God. All right, I'm gonna go into the rap.
We got a freestyle.
Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna drop some hot bars, dude. I'll light you up. That's the one.
I'm awful at freestyling.
That's the two things that you don't want none of: my bars or these hands in fight night. You don't want that,
bro. Don't even fucking talk to me about fight night right now, dude. Are you kidding me? I just put to sleep Mike Tyson in his prime in the second round this morning against some white kid who called me the N-word. I'm a beast. I'm a beast at fight night.
Dude,
So I did two things. I got to knock his ass out for me and for the Black Lives Matter movement. Boy, I'm out here fucking philanthropical today.
Dude, after you knocked him out, I hope you just sent him a message that just was like #BLM.
Hilarious.
That would have been incredible.
I'm just kidding, by the way. He didn't call me an N-word. But I always go into those fights pretending they did because then it just wows me up even more.
Yeah, it's that Michael Jordan bulletin board material. You watched The Last Dance and it kind of got you. I understand that.
Yeah, absolutely. And that motivated me.
That's what it's going to do. All right. Well, once again, thank you so much to Zako Ryan for spending time talking to us today. And before you take off, Zako, can you remind everyone once again where they can find you online, what you've got going on in terms of like web series, comedy shows, and just various things in the world of Zako?
Yeah, just follow me at Instagram at Zako Ryan. And if you like dogs and a cool, funny comedic web series about dogs, you can follow me and my puppy Zeus at Zako and Zeus on Instagram. Not too much crazy shit going on right now, but if you're in the Chicago area, every Thursday through the rest of this month, I'm hosting at Zany's. So pop on through. It's a free show, and all the the comics aren't getting paid, and all the proceeds are going to I can't remember exactly where they're going to. It's either the BLM movement, or I think they're doing it to like fund, to provide money for like the staff and stuff at like the comedy shows or anything like that. So it is cool. It's a free show, and there's 6 great comedians. And I'm hosting, so I'd love to see you there.
All right, guys, you heard him. Make sure you do that. We'll put that information in the show notes. And also just a little addendum to that. One of the things we love and respect about Zako so much is just how dedicated he is to various social causes and how much he absolutely puts his money where his mouth is. He did a great fundraiser on his birthday, which was incredible. So follow him on social media. Anything you see him post, it's anything like that, or any shows he's doing, they're supporting any causes. Make sure that you step up and kind of give him a hand as he gives everyone else a hand. So with that said, if you want to find out more about Menage-A-Pod, head over to our Instagram at Menage-A-Podcast, where you will find our link tree that includes links to our Facebook group, website, merch store, and more. Go get you a hoodie. And a quick thank you to everyone who makes this show happen. My beautiful co-host, Jenna, fucking hysterical guests like Zako, me because I rock, and you guys because you're awesome. And until next time, share us in your IG stories and find other ways to tell a friend about Menage-A-Pod. And of course, good luck out there.